Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and just going to have what I'm doing today. This is the first part of a two-part video. I'm documenting the development of the only 3 persimmons that I've got left on the trees. They're all Asian persimmons. I've got this one, which is a Cioccolatino. There's one Rojo Brillant and there's one Gyro or Giro. And what I've decided to do, I put protective bags around them, and I'm planning to leave them on the tree until they actually fall off or start to go soft or bad. Now the first one to fall, which was on the 20th of December when I went out in the garden and checked, is this variety, which is Cioccolatino. Now at first appearance it's quite small. It kind of looks like the colour looks more like a tomato than a typical persimmon. You can see the size of it. It's a small fruit. It's more like the size of an American persimmon than an Asian persimmon, but the Cioccolatino is an Asian persimmon. Now you can see this sort of colouring on the skin. This doesn't really make any difference to the fruit, and I suspect the Cioccolatino, if I remember rightly, tends to have sort of a brown flecked flesh inside. But the interesting thing I'm finding at the moment about the persimmons I'm trying to grow here in the UK is the colour of them is very disappointing. They're a very sort of wishy-washy, bland colour. In fact, if I just pause the video a minute. Sorry, as I was saying, I'll continue. They seem to be very, very pallid and lacking in colour, the persimmons I'm getting here. Now, I'm not too sure if it's due to the fact that I'm growing them in containers because I don't have space to put them in ground. Also, they're very young trees, but I'm suspecting that part of the problem might be the cold climate here, because they're not really developing any sweetness at the moment, and they're not developing a good colour. I mean, to give you a comparison, I've got here an overripe Rojo Brillant. This is extremely ripe. This is the time you want to eat them. This is like a squashy tomato. You can see how soft it is. It's like a bag of jelly. That's a Rojo Brillant, shot bought, of course, I hasten to add, not what I've grown. And here we've got, for comparison, these are Spanish grown. It says khaki on there. I mean, I think that's probably Triumph, because khaki is not an actual variety. It's the common sort of Latin name, Diospyros khaki. So this is probably a Triumph. I don't think it's a variety called khaki, but if you look at the difference in orange, these are actually not properly ripened yet, but if you look at the difference, it's quite a lot more vivid. Quite a lot more vivid orange than the one that I've got here. So let's just move those out of the way. Now the fruit is still, despite the fact that it's 22nd December and it's fallen off the plant, you can see the part of the stem where it was attached has dried out. The fruit is still not soft. It's quite hard. The top's hard. There's a couple of bits of it that are slightly soft. It's just starting to get soft here. So what I've decided to do is to leave it in the fruit bowl with the other fruits, and we'll see what happens and see what sort of stage. We'll see if I can get it to go soft, and then at that point we'll cut it open and see what it's like and see if it's developed any sweetness. I'm going to keep it with bananas and other ripening fruit. In fact, I'll keep it with the other persimmons. I've got some apples there, just to see how long it is before this gets to the sort of squashy stage that this one is at, because that's, as you can see, that's perfect for eating now if you like your persimmons soft, especially as Rojo Brillant is an astringent variety, which also Cioccolatino is. This is astringent, so there's no point me trying to taste it underripe because it's just going to spoil it. So the second part of the video, which I'll date as well, will be when this gets soft, and at that stage we'll cut it open and see if see if it's any better than the single Cioccolatino I had last year. The reason I only had one this year is because of the serious cold spell we had in April, which killed all the new growths on virtually every persimmon I had, and therefore killed all the flowering growth. So only a few late buds produced flowers this year. So that's Cioccolatino, and this one's Rojo Brillant. And obviously in the second part of the video we'll cut it open, have a look and taste it and see if it's any better than last year's. So I'll see you in the next part of the video. Well, welcome back to the second part of the video, second main part of the video. It's the 29th of January, so it's about a week after I did the first part of the video, and you can see the fruit starting to wrinkle now. Now I think probably it's starting to go bad rather than just soften and ripen, so I thought I'd cut it open anyway and have a look inside and just see if it's edible or still astringent, and see if there's any sweetness in it at all. So I'll just cut it in half. It feels pretty hard. There's some coloration, which is probably the discoloration at the top is probably due to the skin darkening. It's slightly more orange at the bottom. What might be worth doing is to see, it's not easy to tell from taste sometimes. I want to see if there's any sweetness in it at all. See what the bricks meter tells me, if anything. Not always possible to read it anyway, but let's just see if we can see anything on the bricks meter. Looks like it's showing about 13. Not very sweet, not what I'd expect on a persimmon. It might be an indication that it's going to be astringent and not ripe at all. It hasn't got a jelly-like texture to it, so we'll see if it's astringent or not still. Yeah, it's not soft inside. It has still got some astringency to it. No sweetness at all. Like the I like the colour. It's completely bland, unfortunately. It's not gone soft. Looks like it had one seed in it. It's not astringent, but you can't even eat it. It really, it's far too hard. I'm hoping the other two, the Rojo Brillant and the Gyro, still on the tree, might be a little bit better than this. You can tell it's not astringent, obviously, because it's not causing me any symptoms of dry mouth, but unfortunately it's got no flavour to no real flavour to speak of. It's edible, but if you ate a persimmon fruit like that for the first time, you probably wouldn't bother buying another one again. You think, what's the point? It's not like eating one of those lovely super squashy bright Rojo Brillant. So I think it's a factor that the fruit's very small. It was too late in the season because of the very cold spell that we had in April that killed all the plants back and stopped the flowers developing when they should have done, which should have been really sort of late May to early June. This didn't flower until end of June. So the fruit's small. It's done its development in the cold part of the year. So I think those sort of factors are probably what's causing it to be undersized and have no sweetness in it. Whether or not we'll have to wait and see if the other two are going to be any better. They're not really any larger. Certainly nothing like the size you'd expect persimmons to be, but we'll keep persevering. I'm going to repot them all this winter and see if having larger pots and more soil run, because persimmons aren't really suited to growing in containers, but I'm hoping if I give them more root space, and fingers crossed we don't get one of those really irritating cold spells in April like we got this year, we might be lucky and see some better fruits. But I'll do the other videos when the other one's full, and we'll see how long they last on the tree. So anyway, thanks for watching that video, much appreciate it. That was my Cioccolatino persimmon. Edible just about, but nothing to write home about. No flavour, no sweetness to it. I'll stick with the shop bought ones for the time being, but in any case, you're welcome to share the videos. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you're interested in anything I'm doing, and remember to click on the bell if you'd like to get updates on new videos as they come out. I'll see you all in my next video. Advance Happy New Year to everyone. Brett out for now.